Hi, I'm Bo, and I want to talk with you today about work 6 days and then rest. Our verse for today comes from Exodus chapter 20, verses 9 and 10. Work and get everything done during 6 days each week, but the seventh day is a day of rest to honor the Lord your God. You know, in God's word, a day of rest is called a Sabbath. It's when you take a day off from work, not just from your job, but from any work. God didn't make the Sabbath for his benefit. He made it for yours. The Sabbath was made for the benefit of man and not man to benefit the Sabbath, Mark 2:27. God made the Sabbath so you wouldn't get burned out. But many people ignore the need for the Sabbath. When you ignore God's laws, who gets hurt? Not God. Ignoring your need for rest only leaves you exhausted and overwhelmed. Taking a Sabbath rest may be particularly difficult if you're an entrepreneur, self-employed, or work remotely. If you don't schedule a Sabbath for yourself, you'll never take a break. No matter your work situation, it doesn't matter what day of the week you take your Sabbath, it's just important that you do take one. Just like your schedule everything else during your week, you need to schedule your Sabbath. So what should you do on your Sabbath? 3 things. Rest your body. In the French Revolution, government leaders abolished Sunday as a day of rest, but later restored it because the health of the nation had collapsed. You might think, but I feel guilty when I relax. Follow Jesus' example. He didn't feel guilty for taking a Sabbath day. He made the Sabbath a priority, and so should you. Secondly, recharge your emotions. You can recharge your emotions through quietness, solitude, recreation that rejuvenates you, or spending time with your family or people. Thirdly, refocus your spirit. Worship puts your life into perspective. This includes both worship at church and time alone with God. If you start obeying God's command to observe the Sabbath, what will happen? You'll actually end up with more time. Proverbs 14:30 says, "A relaxed attitude lengthens a man's life. Jealousy rots it away." Remember, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't even have to prove your worth to God because you already are infinitely valuable to Him. You can take a Sabbath because you can rest in God's goodness and love for you. Now think it over. You get 168 hours each week. Take a few moments to write how much time you spend each week on different activities: work, sleep, meals, driving, physical activity, spiritual activity, family time, hobbies, and so on. Subtract the time from that 168 title as you go. Look at the notes you made about how you spend your time each week. How many hours a week are you working? How many hours do you think you should be working? What is getting too much or too little of your time? And lastly, where in your schedule can you make rest and Sabbath a priority? This is Bo, hoping that you are rejoicing on the victory side.